my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and we're reading Saturnastra Melina. This is chapter 24, the oath. Like the promise or whatever. Melina's small body returned to Sassari the following morning, and Augustus was eager to return to the comfort of his bedroom, and Shirley was somewhat disturbed by all that had occurred at the party, and Melina was barraged with questions the minute she arrived to Sassari, and Franny was in the gardens when she saw her return, and hugging her, she said, "Back so soon? I should strike you for not taking me with you." "Sorry, if it makes you feel any better, the castle went up in smoke," said Melina sadly. She was still in her party costume. Fanny helped her unsaddle, and she also gave a sign to the guards to guide the mounts back to the stable. And by this time Augustus was awake and with a terrible hangover, and after bathing he went straight back to bed, and he was still feeling nauseous, and so he returned to his study to immerse himself in his magical work. After preparing Melina's bath, Franny commented, "And our letter arrived for you." "Yes," said Melina, getting out of the tub, and getting into the tub, and she closed her eyes and she breathed a sigh of relief. "Lady Lucrezia's house arrest seems to have ended early," said Franny. "Not as early as she might have wished," said Melina. "She was hoping you would travel along with her escort. She wants to fill you in on all of the palace gossip," said Franny. "What a bother," said Melina, and raising her head a little, she said, Want to come with, and I know you're still a bit sore that I did not take you with me to Veragero, and since it's going to be a short stay, I think it'll be safe for you to come along." "I don't know," said Franny. "I had laundry to do, and there's this play I wanted to see, and I was planning on catching up with my sewing." "Do you want me to beg?" asked Melina, chuckling. "Maybe," said Franny whimsically. "Come with me to Veragero, pretty please, with sugar on top," said Melina sarcastically. And she added, "Ask Mia if she wants to come with." "Do we have to take her along?" asked Franny. "Mia is a great conversationalist, and this is a fact that Boris does not appreciate," said Melina, "and I certainly enjoyed her company while we were out there recruiting people." "But she's of a respectable family, and I thought her father would want her associating with you," said Franny. "Her father happens to be one of my most generous customers, and let's just leave it at that," said Melina, laughing. She's with her father. Well, moving on. The next day, Melina, Fanny, and Mia made their way to Veragero with an armed escort, and Sally was not in the mood for giving them a ride, so they traveled to the city the old-fashioned way. Normal traffic in the continent had finally resumed with the passing of the Eye of Blood Red, and along the way, Melina's party was attacked by bandits, and they were hoping for an ambush, but Melina warned her knights of their coming days in advance. And without the element of surprise, the bandits were unmatched, and Melina did snap a few with her bows and arrows, and others she allowed to escape for reasons her companions did not understand. And halfway there, Melina received an urgent message from Lucrezia, and the message had been sent via a messenger dragon, and it simply read, "The Mad Queen of Veragero is with Arasa now." And Fanny simply burned the message after reading it to Melina, and she asked her mistress, "This is serious news. What are we going to do?" "So the queen is dead. Who cares?" said Melina with disdain. "Lucrezia is just reading too much into this incident." "Do you suspect any foul play?" asked Franny. "For all we know, she probably died of an indigestion. It is a common human death in this region, and most tummies go untreated, and then bam! You wake up dead the next morning," explained Melina. "I see," said Franny. "That is why I always tell my beast to go to the healer, even to get treated their mildest pain, and what may seem benign at first might be the final symptoms of something much, much worse," said Melina. "If everyone was as nervous as you, we would spend all our time at the temple after he is getting healed," remarked Mia. "You do have a point," said Melina, nodding. And after a month and a half journey, Melina's party arrived at Veragero, and the trip had been much shorter than last time to Sassari sent to the new horses, though Melina's sources they had acquired quite stout mounts, and they could travel twice as long and only require half the amount of food, and they could also carry more weight, and they were a bit shorter than the usual steeds, though the stable master agreed that they were of superior quality. And as of now, they were in the middle of increasing the number of these new fancy little horses. And they had apparently been acquired in a newly discovered continent. Not a lot of people knew about it, and the sudden death of the queen had taken centerfold in the midst of the nobles and commoners alike, and no one knew exactly what this meant or if it really meant anything. And before entering the city, Melina told her knights to put on colors of mourning, and they agreed that this was wise and prudent, and not have any love for the queen, though they did feel the pain of their lord and master. And Bersame had not been publicly seen for the last week, and the others were for the moment the figureheads of the entire kingdom. Melina allowed Mia and Franny to explore the city while heavily guarded, and in the meantime Melina went to find Lucrezia in the palace. And Lucrezia had found a bloom into a full-grown woman, and she found Lucrezia in her room, and she looked at Melina, and then she exclaimed, "You are the one thing that never changes in my life, Melina." And Artsy ruler, said Melina sharply. "Don't even joke about that," snapped Lucrezia in harsh whispers. Cause like the King Bersame is another thing that doesn't change in that region. "So what do you want to speak to me about?" asked Melina. "Shh," said Lucrezia, coming closer to sit by her friend. Melina rolled her eyes, but decided to oblige. Lucrezia had grown paranoid over the years, and she did not even speak in earnest from within the carriage, because she imagined that the rider could listen to their conversation. "I have identified all the royalist dragon tamers in the kingdom, and I think if we kill them, then the enemy won't be able to use their dragons," said Lucrezia in a low tone. "That maybe wasn't good for dragons that were captured in the wild, but the book is 100% domesticated, and they will not listen to a new authoritative human voice," retorted Melina. "I hadn't thought about it," said Lucrezia, biting her thumb. "There's no need for you to be alarmed. When I say authoritative, I mean someone with a strong will, but such a character trait is rare this day. Dragons are sensitive to such things, especially the ones denied free will, and one need not fight them or kill their handlers. Rather, it must be useful to find a stronger voice to give the dragons conflicting demands. As of now, the man with the strongest willpower is Bersame, so we would just need to find a military leader akin to our king," suggested Lucrezia. "Willpower and leadership are two different things, and someone can be strong-willed and be a terrible leader. And I hate to admit it, but we might require a Leviathan," said Melina more to herself. "What? Is that some sort of beast stronger than a dragon?" asked Lucrezia. Melina blinked twice and seemed in a daze, and then she said, Well, did you say something?" "Yes, I was asking you about your Leviathan," insisted Lucrezia. About your Leviathan." "Leviathan," corrected Melina, and she added, "What about it? It's just a silly concept, and I'm surprised you heard of it. Then again, Bersame is the Leviathan, and your generation has forgotten this crucial fact." "I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you, Melina," said Lucrezia, raising her voice. "Ah, yes, about the dragon problem. I have an idea on how to take care of them, but it will require a solemn oath be taken by all humans," said Melina, getting up and pacing about. "Yes, anything to even the odds," said Lucrezia. "Nah, this plan is never gonna work," said Melina, sitting back down again. "Why not?" said Lucrezia. She knew that Melina relegated to anyone her bizarre skin. She knew Melina rarely relegated to anyone her bizarre skin, though Melina always brought back positive results. "You humans can't keep promises, not ever. It is not in your nature to do so. And even when you do, you gradually keep your word while it festers, just like you," said Melina. "Just tell me what the oath we must take, and we shall do it," said Lucrezia. "Truly," said Melina, smiling. After this quixotic conversation, Lucrezia gave Melina a report of all of the happenings of their allies. And Sir Walter had finally consolidated the power of his southern kingdom, and with the economy stabilized, they would soon have sufficient funds to fight Veragero in a year. Like Augustus, Lucrezia was of a mind of participating in the open race to get more supplies, and Melina stoically opposed fighting the newly discovered elven cities. And there were about 3 that had risen to the surface, and they all spoke completely different languages and were believed to have contained bountiful treasure. Like, the reason why they weren't aware that those elven cities existed because they had hidden so by magic. But then in their internal problems eventually caused the magic barrier to weaken, and then everyone became aware of their existence. And then now they're getting pillaged for being isolated and rich. Well, supposedly rich, They're not like us, therefore they gotta get stabbed with a pointy end. Cause of medieval reasons. In the end, Lucrezia gave up on this idea altogether, and Melina gave her a colorful description of the open guerrilla fighting tactics, and it would take a lot more research to pacify the elves and the resources that they would gain in conquering them. And so battle was simply the way of Bersa made open diplomatic relationships with newly discovered territories, and he wanted to show them that refusing him was not an option, and once his power was clearly established, then he would bother to demand tribute. Bersamin wins nothing from ruining the infrastructure of a city. He will burn some residential homes, perform a bit of rape and pillaging, but do not forget both Aragon and the Ornat feudals still stand despite their past rebellions, explained Melina. This may be so, but we need a new source of income. Lords control most of the world's resources, and his ships recently discovered a new continent. How are we to compete with that? Even if we were to siege the capital, the store had plenty of supplies to last a decade, continued Lucrezia when Melina interrupted her. What do you have to gain from this civil war you're hoping so hard to instigate? Asked Melina suddenly. What civil war? We are united in a desire for freedom. Or has my mother misjudged you, Melina? Asked Lucrezia. Get over yourself, Lucrezia. The only freedom you desire is the freedom to lord over others, said Melina angrily. And Lucrezia turned pale white and then purple in a fury, and she was at a loss for words for a few minutes. And Melina left Lucrezia alone to let her simmer with rage. And while walking out, she saluted Countess Helene, and she was just getting up from the room adjacent to Lucrezia, and sneering Melina said, It is your manner to eavesdrop on other people's conversation. My lips are sealed, said the Countess. How human of you, said Melina standing before Helene, and she slapped Helene with the back of her hand before running away laughing. Helene touched her wounded mouth and then saw a bit of blood, and Helene was far too shocked to say anything, and it seemed to her that everyone was a bit on edge since the queen's death. Alright, I made it to the end of the chapter. Bye bye and God bless.